Why is body language important in the workplace? What if I told you that it would increase your chances of getting a promotion by 40% to have better body language? That's what we're talking about today. In this video, we'll discuss the role of body language in your work as well as in your communication. And my promise to you is that you'll have some new ideas as to how you can use body language more effectively. So let's jump right in. So let's talk about the silent power of body language. Studies show that 55% of communication is from body language. 38% from our voice, and 7% is only what's left from the actual words spoken. So think about your body the next time that you're communicating. It's quite essential. One of my favorite examples is a guy named Winston Churchill. And if you've watched this channel or other videos, you know that I refer to Winston Churchill a lot. He was the great prime minister leader during World War II for Britain. Now here's something he did with his body language that was fascinating because, as you know, he was a great orator. So he was a great speaker. Here's what he did one time that kind of made everybody really engage with him and love him, especially the younger people of Britain at the time. He did the V sign and then they took a picture of him. But the way that he did V, he meant V for victory, but the way he did it was backwards. And that was actually kind of an obscene gesture at that time because of something that they had used that against France years and years earlier. And so what I love about this story is the fact that he threw this V sign up for victory, and yet everybody fell in love with him as far as the younger generation saying, oh, he's our guy, this old dude doing this sign. V did stand for victory. Britain did go on to withstand the Germans in World War II. It was a great story, but because of his body language, he was able to captivate an audience of people that saw him do that, and it changed the way that they fought in order to stave off the Germans in World War II. Let's talk about nonverbal communication. So first impressions. Think about your first impression when you see somebody. You usually just get a couple of seconds to determine what you think of that person, and a lot of the time it happens with their face, their micro expressions, those types of things. And so if somebody's talking to you and you see that through their body language, they don't say anything. You don't hear their voice, but they just sit there and as they're listening, they're like, or they're like, or they're like. There's a big difference between all of those, isn't there? You're probably doing them while I was doing them, weren't you? All those micro expressions matter. And so when we think about it for ourselves, what are our micro expressions and how are we coming across in our first impressions with everybody? It's through body language and it matters. One of my favorite things to think about is actually Zoom calls. And this is a tip for you. Think about how you are on a Zoom call. We're going to talk about that in just a moment, a little bit further in depth. But all of us have a way of reacting through our face and through our body. And so how are you positioning yourself to react in a favorable way when people are listening? So let's talk about body language do's and don'ts. Now, if you're a leader, a manager in HR, if you're in any of these types of leadership positions, you need to work on mastering all of these. First of all, use eye contact. So make sure to keep eye contact with the person that's talking to you, especially if it's a coworker. Don't look away, because if you're looking away, it seems like you're not paying attention, but if you're keeping eye contact, that establishes trust. It establishes that I'm interested in what you're saying. And so we can practice that right now. Hey, you're looking at me, I'm looking at you. If I was looking away, that would be a weird video. Sit or stand straight with better posture. I bet you even accidentally did that when I said it while you're sitting there watching me. Isn't that funny? Don't sit and slouch. That's part of bad posture, obviously, but that also says a lot about our body language and our communication. If we're interested in what someone has to say, we're leaning in, we're sitting upright, shoulders are back, instead of slouching over and seeming like we're disinterested. Use hand gestures that are welcoming. So you want your palms to be open and out as if you're welcoming somebody, rather than the don'ts of don't keep your arms folded or fidget too much with your hands. I have a tendency to fidget with my hands, and so I have to concentrate, sit up straight, I keep eye contact, and I do what I can with my hands to seem like I'm interested in what they're saying. So I want you to try this if you will. I'd like you to think about how you look on a Zoom call or any other virtual meeting that you're attending where you have to have the camera on. This is a lot of body language, and this is just part of a way to train yourself. It'd be cool to record yourself. So you could just take your phone and record yourself while you're on the Zoom call. Watch your face, watch your body language, watch how you're looking. Are you sitting there with what's called RBF? And I don't want to give you the full definition of that because the middle word of resting B face is what it's called. But you can look it up what it really means. It means that you're disinterested, that you're sitting there like this, or you're like this. I want you to think about your face while you're listening to somebody. You see, because of the pandemic and Zoom and all of those things that we went through while we were on Zoom with the pandemic, a lot of us fell into this thing where we just sat there like, and we never showed any expression. So when we got back in person, we had to find a way to get our smiles back. And I hope that you'll record yourself and do that. What I'd love for you to do, if you'll engage with me in the comments right here, that would be awesome. I'd love for you to tell me some of the things that you've noticed that you do, or some of the best ways that people use body language online that you've noticed. That'd be cool. Put it in the comments for us. I'd love to see that. Let's go on to number 3. Let's talk about body language for leadership. Now, when it comes to leadership, you have to think about your body positioning and how you look. I mean, if we think about some of the great leaders of all time, Barack Obama had some very powerful leadership presence if you think about it. He chose something very strategic that actually said quite a bit before he even said a word. The way that he wore his suit, he actually chose never to wear a red tie. That's interesting, isn't it? Just the color of a tie to him was important, meaning it was not threatening. He wanted to appear that he was welcoming to everybody, and a red tie indicates that it could be possibly the other way around in someone's mind. Whereas then there was Donald Trump, who was the president as well. Donald Trump pretty much only wore a red tie, which to him established that he was, a man of power and that he had something to say and he was going to tell it like it is. And so it just depends on what your leadership style is that you want to put across to others. I call it your promise leadership, or your leadership promise, you choose. But think about how you present yourself, whether it's in the clothes you wear, the style, the way that you hold your body. That all matters within your body language. And now when you're a leader, you're conducting meetings most likely, so think about the way that you do different gestures. For example, there are mirroring techniques where you would want to mirror the style of the person that you're listening to so that they realize that you're paying attention. There's inclusive gestures where you might put your arm on the different chairs to be able to let them know that you're receptive to all ideas. I've even seen leaders put their hands behind their head while someone else is presenting as they nod and they give approval. During interviews, it's important to lean in slightly so that you understand that you're engaged with them and they feel that you're really telling you something you want to hear. And then when you're networking at events, think about your proximity, how close you are to somebody or how far away. All of these things matter within the body language that we're talking about. You may also like a video on this channel that I've recorded that you want to type in this exact title: How to Use Body Language in Public Speaking. If you check that out, I've given some other examples. In fact, I'm standing for that video and I'm sharing a couple of different poses and ways that you can actually position yourself better as a speaker. I hope you go check that one out. So let's talk about your leadership promise to your audience, to the people that you're talking to. When it comes to your style, when it comes to your clothing or your face, when it comes to your body, all the way that you present yourself, the slouchiness or the sitting upright, when it comes to your face through the Zoom camera or whether you're in person, you have a leadership promise that needs to come through. I've created an assessment that I hope that you'll check out. It will actually help you to identify, clarify, and magnify your signature moves, how your signature leadership can come out. Because you have a certain style, you have something that makes you uniquely who you are. So go to icmprocess.com. And I hope that you'll enjoy that, because as you start to go through it, you'll see for yourself that you can identify and clarify and magnify that which is truly your leadership promise. And if you want to perfect your body language, your communication skills, if you want some mentoring from me, please reach out to me. If you want to comment below, that would be amazing. I actually respond to every single comment on this channel. I hope you'll check out more videos here. But yeah, just reach out to me. Let's talk about what we can do to help you with your body language and your leadership. Have a great day.